now. Shout out to my Clippers. Let's welcome in Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the Bucher. You first up, Acho. How confident are you in Luka leading the Mavs to a title?
I'm incredibly confident, and I know that Luka will lead the Mavericks to the title, to a title. Remember, I grew up in Dallas, so I watched the Mavericks just about every game from 2000 to roughly 2011. That's the streak, and that is the stretch of the Mavericks winning 11 straight, having 11 straight seasons of 50-plus wins. That was also the stretch in which the Mavericks went to 2 NBA Finals and won one. And who were they led by? A foreign superstar, a top 10 player during the duration of his prime, top 5 players at times, and also won an NBA MVP in Dirk Nowitzki. So if I've seen Dirk do it, if I've seen Dirk sustain while super teams came and super teams went, if I've seen Dirk last through the likes of the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, or the Heat with Shaq and D-Wade, the Lakers with Kobe and Powell, or the Spurs with Manu, Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker, but Dirk was just Mr. Consistent, then I am sure and I am certain that Luka can do the same. I'll end my take very simply with this. There's a reason, Slick Rick, there's a reason, Marcellus Wiley, that I've never won the lotto. Some could say it's because I'm unlucky, but I don't think so. I'm not really a luck kind of guy. I would submit that it's because I never bought a lotto ticket.
Oh.
And you can't win the lotto if you don't buy a ticket. See, Luka buys a lotto ticket for the Mavericks every single year. And the lotto ticket to win a chip is simply getting to the playoffs. You can't win a chip if you don't get to the playoffs. But by having Luka on your team, he's given the Mavericks a lotto ticket. Just get to the playoffs and get to the playoffs and get to the playoffs. Eventually, especially if you have a superstar, you'll crack the code. It's what happened with Dirk. They got to the playoffs, lost to the Spurs, got to the playoffs, lost to the Suns, got to the playoffs, lost to the Warriors, got to the playoffs, got to the playoffs, got to the playoffs, and eventually in 2011, against all odds, when LeBron James had formed the super team, one of the greatest super teams of this generation, Dirk cracked the code. Why? Because he had a lotto ticket. Luka gives the Mavericks a lotto ticket each and every year. And as a result, eventually, they'll win the lotto or an NBA title.
That is an interesting take. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
I am not particularly confident that Luka Doncic is going to lead the Mavericks to a championship. One, because when you make the reference to Dirk Nowitzki, that was 10 years ago that he won that title. And the league has dramatically changed since then. If we look at the last 5, 6 years in terms of who is leading championship teams, they're all athletic freaks. There's Giannis, there's LeBron, there's KD, there's Kawhi. And for all that Luka Doncic is, and he is an offensive maestro and as skilled as any player in the game, he's not an athletic freak. And so it leaves me short in what he is able to do based on how the game is played now. The second part is how championship rosters are built. And when I look at these Dallas Mavericks, I don't see that wingman that he needs. I don't believe that you need a big 3, but you generally need 2. And he doesn't have that one yet. And how is he going to get it? Well, Nico Harrison is the brand new GM, doesn't have a championship pedigree, doesn't have a pedigree at all. I expect that Nico will do well, but is he capable of building a championship roster? I have no idea. The second part is something from a conversation I had with an agent just in the last 24 hours about how teams are built. It used to be that GMs constructed them and constructed them by talking to agents. Now it's players talking to other players. That's how these teams are being formed. And then the player who wants to go to a particular team goes to his agent and says, get me there. And the superstar in resident goes to the GM and says, get me that player. Well, who's in Luka Doncic's phone? Who is he going to reach out to and say, hey, let's get together, let's make this happen? I don't know that he has the same wherewithal that some of these other guys have. And if it's a matter of drafting, like Giannis and Chris Middleton coming to join him, then to your point, they're always going to be buying a playoff ticket. So how are they going to get that lotto ticket in terms of getting that wingman that then takes them to the next step? That's why I have my reservations for as good as Doncic is, that he's actually going to be capable of taking the Dallas Mavericks all the way to the top of the mountain.
Great takes by both of you guys. I don't have an ounce of reservation. They will not win a championship as currently constructed or on the trajectory that they're heading. I'm going to remind you guys, this team can't even get out the first round, losing to the lowly Clippers. And why do I say lowly Clippers? Because that's all I hear. The team that we laugh at the most in terms of championship opportunity and aspiration and success are the Los Angeles Clippers. They're a laughingstock. They finally made it to the Western Conference Finals. And this team can't even get past that team. So if you're going to laugh at the Clippers, I'm about to lose my mind laughing at the Dallas Mavericks, who can't even get past that hurdle. Let me also just remind you guys, since y'all want to keep the energy going, that you look at Luka, and I love the fact that Slick said, who's in his phone? Because reputation precedes you. And I'm not certain if this is fact-based, but it's certainly opinion-based out there, that maybe Luka is a little too much of a firecracker for everybody to say, let's go join up with Luka. Case in point, Kristaps Porzingis, supposed to be his boy. How they looking right now? Case in point, Rick Carlisle, supposed to be his coach. How they looking right now? So there's something going on in terms of Luka's reputation and the reception league-wide. And Slick pointed out, the players are the ones driving these moves and these opportunities, not upstairs. That's going to be interesting to look at. So maybe he won't be able to add to this team, in part because of the reputation that precedes him. We don't believe you, Luka. You need more people. If you and Kristaps can't get along, okay, so Porzingis and you are not going to be there together, or if you are there together, not on the same page, you're not getting the most out of him, certainly. We're not going to get into a situation where we're going to look at the opponents, because the path to this title that Acho talks about is more difficult than it's ever been. The Lakers are going to return to form. AD's going to be healthy. They've reloaded. They got Westbrook, Melo, laugh if you want. This was a team that was second in the NBA in terms of record before the injury to AD last year, and they've reloaded. Bucks are the champions. Brooklyn Nets going to be healthy next year. Warriors going to get Clay back. Jazz had the best record. Suns had the second best record and were in the finals. 76ers had the best record, and they underachieved. They will return. They may get Damian Lillard. We'll see how that plays out. And my Clippers, come on, man. Like, this dude is amazing all to himself. But in terms of team success and total team impact, we haven't seen one sign to give us any confidence.
Fellas, don't y'all think y'all are being a little too aggressive too quickly? Why do I say that?
Okay.
Luka's had more collective success than LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Giannis, right? The greatest players of all time, and Giannis, who's currently playing at an incredibly high level. He's had more collective success than them over the first 3 years. They all ended up winning multiple titles in their organization. Obviously, Giannis as well. Michael won multiple. Giannis has won his. LeBron got his. So I just think that it's a little far-fetched. It's a little hyperbolic to come out and say that Luka can't lead the Mavs to a title. We're almost punishing him for being too good too soon. Like, nobody would have said that Giannis can lead the Bucks to a title as recently as 3 months ago. Hell, as recently as a couple weeks ago, if you will. And so, Slick, I'm just thinking, Jordan, didn't really look great for him leading the Bulls to a title after the first 2 years. I think he lost 1-3 first year. I think he got swept 0-3 the next year. Luka, yeah, he's losing to the Clippers, but it didn't look great for LeBron his first couple years. Didn't make the playoffs, then makes the playoffs. Then his third year, I think he loses in the conference semis. So, to discount Luka in his third season when he's actually played collectively at a higher level than the likes of Jordan, Giannis, and LeBron, to me, I can't make that leap that y'all two are trying to make.
I get that, and I'm still trying to get over Marcellus using Clippers slander to make his point. That kind of threw me for a loop there. The Clippers are the laughing stock, so and the Dallas Mavericks can't even beat them. You got me there. This is the thing, and one of the reasons why Luka Doncic wasn't the #1 pick in his draft, in spite of the fact that everybody agreed that he was the most skilled player coming in. And it was because of that physical difference. That was he an athletic freak? Everybody had questions, not how good he is, but how good can he be? And that is the real question here. How much better can Luka Doncic get from what he already is? Because He's already got all of the skills. You look at a LeBron James or Michael Jordan coming into the league, it was their skills, their overall abilities had to catch up with their crazy athleticism. That's not the case with Doncic. Doncic is already beating you with his mind. He's already beating you with his variety of skills. So where can he go from here? And I'm not saying that he can't win a championship or that he can't lead. I'm not in Marcellus's camp where it's a definitive no. But we have tried to rush to make him the face of the league and the MVP and all of that because of these singular performances where he gives us glimpses. When he had 48 points and 11 rebounds against Argentina, it was, oh my God, he's the best international player that we've ever seen. And then he gives you 22 points on 20